Each year, it's always the same thing. One kid would go missing in the most bizarre way. A kid would go missing in my city. The worried parents would call the police. The police would always search around the neighborhood, asking residents if they've seen the kid, looking around the nearby woods, only to turn up empty-handed. This kept going on for the past 5 years, and always on a Halloween night. The odd thing about this, it was always the kids who were indoors that would go missing. Not a single trick-or-treater had gone missing. So basically you were safer outside than inside. Now, me being a high schooler, I found Halloween uncool anymore. I apologize for being such a zoomer, but the magic is lost once you're past a certain age. And you realize the oldest trick-or-treater on the block is you. I still loved Halloween, don't get me wrong. But going from a trick-or-treater to a candy giver wasn't exactly my idea of a fun Halloween. So what I decided to do this year was to flex on my neighbors. I had a bit of a creative mind. My art teachers always praised my creativity and told me to put it into good use in my life. And so I did. I created lifelike Roblox lawn decorations. I lived smack dab in the middle of the cul-de-sac and all the kids would see the decorations I've placed. Even with the children going missing every year, it doesn't seem to stop the parents from sending their kids outside to trick-or-treat. Heck, some parents even force their kids to go. After all, the kids that went missing were the ones inside their homes. Every year, I do something slightly different. One year I made Roblox avatars that look like scarecrows. Then the year after that, I made Roblox avatars that look like dinosaurs. Heck, last year I remember making Roblox decorations that look like creepy clowns. This year I wasn't too sure. I had 5 Roblox avatars ready, and the stores would close by the time I had walked to the nearest convenience store. My parents had already left me some supplies, like a few transparent plastic boards, screws, some old LED lights and glow sticks. Not much to work with, but I had something. While I adjusted the Roblox figures on the lawn, my next door neighbor complimented me on the decorations. And with a chuckle he said, "Aren't you going trick-or-treating this year? You wouldn't want to stay indoors till 8, or else the kidnapper might get you." I chuckled, and that was another part of the rumor. The kidnapper apparently only ever struck at around 8, the time while many kids were still out trick-or-treating. My parents weren't home, so I was tasked with handing out the candy. I would watch movies, though I wasn't mainly too fond of watching horror movies, so I just watched those Halloween-themed cartoon specials they had on. At around 5 o'clock, it literally felt as if every 30 seconds a couple of trick-or-treaters would knock on my door asking for candy. By 7 p.m., it was still going strong. There were kids asking for candy, and by 8 it started to dwindle. I decided that I might as well take a walk around the neighborhood. The neighbors would go all out with their decorations. As I walked around the neighborhood, there were still plenty of people trick-or-treating, just not as many. Out of all the costumes I saw, my favorite was a kid dressed as a pirate with a taxidermy-looking parrot. I walked around the neighborhood for maybe 30 minutes until I went to the house. As I entered, I was surprised that no one was home. The lights were on, so I assumed at least one person was home. This part of the neighborhood where I was at was a relatively safe neighborhood. I could go as far as to say this is one of those neighborhoods where everyone knows each other so well that you could just leave the door unlocked. When I entered the living room, I saw the computer right in the corner, and it just so happened that Roblox was open on the computer, so I decided that I'd kill some time by playing some piggy while someone got home. I was about to get up and go, until I heard it. The sudden footsteps of someone coming from upstairs. I stared at the flight of stairs, looking at it intently, the clacking of nails on the wooden stairs, and a figure came down slowly from the top. I relaxed when I saw it was only the dog. I leaned on the chair in relief, until I felt the grip of an arm choking me. I felt helpless as whoever was choking me dragged me onto the ground like a rag doll. I immediately pushed up against whoever it was and used the momentum to push them into the wall. I felt their body hit hard onto the wall, that a few picture frames fell and shattered on the floor. I grabbed a vase from the counter and with a quick, swift motion, I swung the ceramic vase directly on top of their head. The body went limp, and blood started spilling on the floor. The adrenaline rush slowly going away. There was a body on the floor, so there was only one logical thing to do in this situation. I had to hide the body in my basement. The next morning, I had completed the final Roblox Halloween decoration. It was a pirate-themed Roblox avatar. It took me a while. The costume I found was a tad small, but I was able to make it work. My neighbor greeted me with a hello, and asked, "Did you hear the news this morning? The kidnapper struck again." Apparently the kid was struck with a ceramic vase, and dragged along other people's backyards. The blood trail led them nowhere. Crazy world we live in, huh? With a chuckle I just said yeah. "So you've completed your decorations this year. I like the pirate one." "Thanks. You could say I had to kill for this one.